Hey folks, Phil the B-Man here. I've got something to deal with tonight that I've been putting off for a long time. I've got 2 years worth of hive tags from dead hives and failed queens. Every time we're putting in a new queen, we tear off a tag and put a new one on. So I feel like there's important data to be gathered here. But especially last year, my losses were pretty high, and so I just couldn't get the energy to dig into it. And then this year, much smaller box. Of course, we're not through the year yet, and I know that this will tell me something about the various sources of queens, and also the success rate of my mid-season splits, some with brood, some without. And so this represents, the final countdown in terms of what lived and what died, depending on what I did with it. So, and my biggest problem is I forgot to order more of these, so I've got to recycle some of these. I found you can scrape the coloring off pretty easy, so it's easy to reuse them. But I got to get these counted or I'm going to lose the data. So I got a local beer, a Saturday night on my own. Let's just get this done. So stay tuned. I'll try to figure out how to gather this data in a way that makes any kind of sense, and we'll go from there. Okay, so the first rough sort before 2019, I'm not going to break those down any further. 2019, 2020, I have numbers historically for the different batches of queens, so I'm going to have to count all those. 2021, so those were 1-year-old queens, quite a pile of them. It was and then 2022, so that's during the year up until the end of the honey season. That's a lot. And I've expressed some concern about that before. Okay, now I got to count them down year by year. All right, we're making profit. I got all the staples out. I think the beer is empty. This is an hour later, and I've already tabulated the 2022 queens. And I was right that these Saskatraz were not serving me very well. So this is up into, so this is during 2022 season. This is not yet this year's data. There'll be more here. But 34 out of 150, 7 out of 50 compared to say, 1 out of 120 from Northern Queen. Merv Malian always says excellent queens. One failure out of, these are the broodless splits here. One didn't work by the end of the year. So, and of my own, I raised about 150 and 5 turned up dead. So, I don't know. I was thinking they'd all be in one order. When you actually look at the data, right? It's 2 different shipments. So it wasn't just the handling, or if it was a problematic on both. Okay, well, I just got to keep going with the next year back. All right, for queens installed during 2021. And lots of people have had curiosity about the performance of some of these. So again, I've only calculated this. These were tags, queens installed in 2021. And tags collected during the 2022 season. So these queens all went for at least a year. So Strachan's 13 out of 20. Now, and keep in mind, 2022, I got my ass kicked pretty good with a cold spring. So 13 gone out of 25, 8 gone out of Kona's, the same number. Saskatchewan 17 gone out of 30, 12 out of Buckfast from Foster. And then here's now installed slightly later in the season, so that's relevant, but only 1 out of 25 for the Italian Buckfast, 4 out of 25 for the Ukrainian Carpathians, I think they call my local supplier, 28 out of 100 and 8 out of 50. And then out of my own, installed during 2021 spring and cropped out during 2022, 67. All right, I think I got at least a couple more years to count up yet, but that's probably it for tonight. Thanks a lot, folks. I hope you find this interesting. It'll be what I need to do is then tally up this year's numbers and get an overall survival percentage for these, and then going back to the 2020 queens, I'll have to watch my own video and remember the numbers for 2020 because I don't seem to have recorded that anywhere. And obviously I'm going to have to start making a spreadsheet of this so I can track it over a longer period of time. All right, have a good night.